Okay, we're back for episode 3 of the Salty Ones podcast, joined by my co-host Cheese. How you doing, man? How you doing today?
I'm good. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute, bro. We didn't do last week. We were on Thanksgiving break, or the week before actually, and we were just chilling, man, relaxing. I got sick over Thanksgiving weekend, so that was
Yeah,
fun.
That's
It
that's
was
not our
it was
game.
terrible, man. I couldn't even enjoy Thanksgiving fully for me, because after I had my plate, I had one plate, dude, and then I was out. Like I slept right after I had one plate, and I was sick, so I couldn't really do anything but uh basically sleep, eat, and watch the World Cup. So let's talk about that first, man. Have you been watching the World Cup? I gotta ask you that.
Yeah, I've been watching like a couple games like here and there.
Who are you voting for? As someone who I presume you don't watch much soccer slash football, do you or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Uh,
which team are
so
you
like
rooting
I know
for?
like the basic stuff. I don't know I'm kind of like I'd say slightly below average, where it's like I kind of know some things, but like I don't know like a whole ton.
Yeah, that's fine because I feel like a lot of people,
Mhm.
especially with this World Cup, are getting into like soccer slash football because,
Yeah.
like, if you live in the U.S., like a lot of people aren't into soccer here in this country compared to countries in Europe and Asia. Where football is very popular there. So
Right.
with this World Cup, I'm not gonna lie. I think someone like Speed has really like boosted the popularity of football. Because here's the thing: a lot of these like young kids, like they don't watch soccer the same way they do with basketball and football, right? Because it's not that popular of a sport, right? So when you have like younger kids, especially like I Show Speed, who has made like you heard that World Cup song, right?
Yeah, I did.
I'm not gonna lie, that song slaps. And not only
That's
that,
alright.
it's actually a pretty
I'm
good
not gonna
song.
disagree with you on the fact that you saying that I Show Speed brought popularity. It's always been like its own
No,
thing.
it's always been
I,
popular, but for like
yeah.
a lot of the younger kids, I would say that that watch YouTubers and streamers and shit, thanks to people like Speed and of course like other YouTubers in the UK that talk about soccer and football, soccer slash football, it brought a lot of popularity. With Speed saying like "suey" and shit about Ronaldo, and of course soccer's always been popular in the
Yeah.
US. But I feel like with this World Cup, especially with social media being utilized nowadays, like
Right.
memes and shit from a lot of content creators and also from the soccer players slash football players themselves, this is a lot of people's like first time getting into soccer slash football. So I'm really happy that a lot of like I'm gonna say it, casuals are getting into it. Like it's good. It's good that a lot of people are getting into it, man. So like for me, I've been watching football for a lot of my life since I was like 5 6 years old. Watched the English Premier League, been watching the World Cups, the Euros, the Concacaf, stuff like that, for a minute now. And with this World Cup, I'm not gonna lie, like at the time of this recording, all the group stages have finished. We're heading into the round of 16, the knockout rounds. And I'm not gonna lie, this World Cup so far in Qatar has been really good, man. I've been really enjoying it. I'm not gonna lie though, some of the games have been boring. Like that US England game. That game
Right.
was
Yeah, it was pretty boring.
yeah,
Let's be
that
honest.
game was boring as shit. But you know what? I'm actually really happy we drew to England because all the English fans were talking shit about us. They're like, oh, we're going to beat you guys 7-0. You guys stink. Just for them to put up a shitter, man.
Right.
And what's crazy?
Well,
We
like,
outplayed them. The US did actually.
mhm.
I think they outplayed England. We should have won in all honesty. We had the better
Right.
chances,
Yeah, we should.
but at the end of the day, we took the draw and we advanced. So that's what's the most important part. Um, but
I
yo,
wanted to like ask you this,
yeah,
but
so,
what are your thoughts on like because a lot of people it's been a very big controversial take like since the beginning, but
yeah.
like what are your thoughts on the World Cup being held in Qatar?
I think it's fine as long as like I don't really care where the World Cup is being held as long as we get the World Cup. That's just my take on it. And here's the thing: I think the biggest problem people are having with the World Cup being held in Qatar is because it's a Muslim country and the laws there are completely different compared to the laws in the U.S. and the laws in other countries in Europe and Asia, for example. And my take on it, man, like when you go into another country, when you go into somebody's country, it's like you're going into somebody's house. You have to treat them with respect. This is the country that they live in. So when it comes to Qatar's rules, especially with the rules of that kind of go against LGBTQ, while it's okay to disagree with it, I just feel like kind of
Right.
imposing your beliefs in somebody else's country is incredibly disrespectful. When you
Yeah.
go into somebody's country, it's like going into somebody's house. And when you go into somebody's house, you have to treat them treat their place with respect because that's what they believe in. And it's okay if you don't believe in the same beliefs as somebody else, just like with Qatar's beliefs with the
Yeah,
Islamic
exactly.
State. But at the end of the day, man, like you just gotta respect what they preach because they're basically gracious enough to host a World Cup, a major event. And it's kind of
Yeah,
for me it's like as a Muslim, it's kind of annoying how people are kind of imposing their beliefs, such as LGBTQ and the right to drink alcohol because they did ban alcohol. And let me clarify, I have no problems with LGBTQ.
yeah,
You can believe in whatever you want. You can represent yourself in any way you want. I don't have any problems with that. But in Qatar, there are stuff like the right the what how do I say it, man? Like like what is it the beliefs of LGBTQ,
yeah.
how do I can't explain it. I can't explain it. It's hard to say, bro. I
Well, like,
don't
it's always been like the rules have been very like I'd say not as like lenient.
Yeah, it's a lot more strict in Qatar
They're
compared
a lot more
to
strict, yeah.
the
That's the word.
compared to countries in North America and Europe and Asia. It's completely different, and I feel like a lot of people are kind of treating it with disrespect. That's the one thing I want to say about that. So I mean, the one thing I do want to say, it's with Germany, man. Like you saw what happened with the German team. Did you see that picture where they covered
Yeah,
their mouths because they were protesting that they couldn't because what's it called? They couldn't practice the rights like of gay rights, for example.
yeah,
Because
mhm,
liking for example, men liking men, that's not allowed in Qatar because of the Islamic
right,
rules, because of the religious beliefs of Islam. Which I mean,
right,
I get it's okay to not agree with those beliefs. That's fine, but at the end of the day, like I said, you have to respect with what
right.
they preach, right? So, for me, I just feel like a lot of the stuff that's been going on in Qatar has been blown out of proportion, and people are just being
Yeah,
disrespectful. I do want to say though, the next World Cup is gonna be held in North America, in the U.S., in Canada, and in Mexico, in three different countries. So that's gonna be, I
it's
don't
gonna be
think
sick.
that's gonna
It's
be
gonna be sick.
insane. That's gonna be so fun, especially with the fact
Like,
that I think the final is being held in MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. So, I'm gonna
it's
try to
either
go. I'm not gonna
Lincoln
lie.
Financial in Philadelphia. It's one of the two. I'm not entirely sure though.
Oh, and in Philly as well, the final.
Yeah, yeah. Another thing I want to add too is that when they were building the stadium, like hundreds of people died making it.
Yeah, because here's the thing with Qatar. It's like a working country. Like a lot of people
Right.
that
Yeah.
live there are workers. There's not many
Yeah.
civilians that live in Qatar. It's a newer country, so it's like
Yeah.
it's kind of sad to see that. So it's
Mhm.
just like it's tough, bro. It's tough. Like it's an unfortunate situation. I wish I could I wish people could have done better when it comes to something like this. At the end of the day, FIFA is kind of corrupt. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
They did use a lot of people when it comes to this World Cup. As much as I'm happy that there is a World Cup, that we're getting great events out of this, a lot of people's lives are being at risk, which that shouldn't be the
Also,
case.
like, there's also always been like a lot of controversy surrounding World Cups because like there's always the person who's hosting it, they somehow they change it in some way to like give them better odds.
Wait, what do you mean? Elaborate.
So the one I'm referring to usually is the South Korea one.
Yeah.
When I don't remember the year exactly, but it was the farthest they ever made it, and there was a lot of controversy surrounding them because there was all they everyone thought that I think it might have been like the refs that were paid off. I'm not
Oh,
entirely
they
sure
were kind
though.
of fixing the matches. Are they giving like
And they're
favorable
trying to fix the
calls?
match, yeah, to give
Uh,
them better chances to win.
oh, okay, yeah. I mean, with Qatar, that wasn't gonna happen because they were the host country and they
Well, they
sucked.
got knocked out.
Yeah, they lost their first two games. They were done. But
Yeah.
yeah, with the round of basically the group stage is done. Round of 16 starting basically tomorrow. Recording on a Friday night. Tomorrow, USA versus Netherlands. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. EST. Cheese, what are your predictions for this match tomorrow? As a fellow American, what are your predictions?
Well, okay, like as much as I want to say the U.S. because you're obviously supporting your team. It's like I feel like like everyone says this, but I feel like this match could actually go either way.
Okay.
Because especially for the World Cup especially for the last 16, you're there for a reason because you were good
Yeah.
and you could beat these teams that were in your group, and then you got to that stage,
Yep.
and so it's really hard to kind of like predict it. It's like it's really only a thing where it's like I honestly could like. It's obviously not going to end in a draw because I don't think that's possible.
No, if they can't end in a draw. If it goes to like 0-0 or if it's tied after 90 minutes, they go into extra time. And
Yeah,
if it's still tied, they go to penalties. So there has to be a
yeah,
winner.
the
Yeah.
case, which honestly would be pretty cool to see. But like I would like to just like that first 90 minutes don't like do any stupid shit.
So who are you rooting for
But
tomorrow? The U.S. or Netherlands?
U.S. for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm always
Same.
gonna be like I'm gonna be rooting for the U.S. especially because I'm pretty sure
We
Christian
gotta.
Pulisic is.
Yeah, we gotta rep our country. Yeah, speaking of Christian Pulisic, aka Captain America, aka the LeBron James of soccer, aka the LeBron James of football,
Pulisic. That's
better than
Christian
Messi.
Pulisic to you.
Yeah, Christian Pulisic, better than Messi, better than Ronaldo, the best player in the world, by the way. No, I'm playing, but
Sacrifice his balls for
bro, no, that goal was crazy. I thought he like tore his he tore his hip or some shit. Like I was really scared when he scored that goal because he that has put it he put his balls on the line, bro. Respect, like
Yeah. Reports definitely did come out though that saying like where he did not, like rupture his balls or anything.
no, he didn't. He was fine. He was fine.
It was like a pelvic contusion, which was just
Yeah.
like a
It's like a
bruise.
bruise, yeah. He's a bruise, and it was day to day. After they announced it, I was like, okay, he'll be fine. He'll be ready to play on Saturday.
And he even confirmed too that he was gonna play.
Yeah. So shout out Kristen Pulisic, man.
Shout out to him.
He's literally a best player too. And I want to say with
But
this,
also,
I want to say with this Netherlands game though, I think setting biases aside, I know it's gonna sound a little bit biased because we're both rooting for the U.S. I think we have the better chances of winning. Because here's the thing: the Netherlands, first of all, their group stage, they had the easiest group stage in the World Cup. I don't remember which countries they played. The countries that they played were not good. Like we had to go against England. Let me put it in perspective. We played England, who was literally one of the favorites to win the World Cup, right? And we drew against them.
always been like a powerhouse, so like
Wait, what?
England has like always been a powerhouse.
Yeah, England is
like,
fucking stacked, and the fact that we
Yeah.
drew to them and basically outplayed them, where we should have won the game, says a
Right.
lot. And the fact that we did that, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not afraid of any team. The only team I'm afraid of is like Argentina or Brazil. Which, if we do beat the Netherlands, we're gonna play Argentina in the quarterfinals, which is gonna be crazy. But I do want to say that I think we have the advantage because the Netherlands have not been playing well this World Cup. But I do want to say though, the Netherlands do have a really good defense. There's a player on their team called Virgil van Dijk. He's basically he's basically one of the best defenders in the world. Think of like Giannis on defense in soccer terms.
Oh no,
He's a lockdown defender. He's one of the best defenders in the world. So like with him at the back playing center back, it's gonna be hard to score. I'm not gonna lie. For me, I'm predicting a 1-0 win or we win in penalties, and that's it. Because I feel like the one thing the U.S. is not good at is its attack. We have a good midfield. Our defense is very solid at the back, but our attack. We don't have many good strikers. Of course, we have players like Tim Weah, Christian Pulisic, but yeah, but with those players, they're still young at the end of the day, and we don't have.
the second youngest like roster in the World Cup.
Yeah, that's true, and not only that, our attack isn't the best. We still struggle when it comes to the final half of scoring. So I feel like for the rest of this World Cup, whether we lose tomorrow, go to the final, whatever, right? We have to actually score. This is a problem the U.S. has had since the last World Cup that we played, which was in 2014. So we need our best players to step up when it comes to this game tomorrow because we're going up against the best defender in the world, essentially. And I'm not gonna lie, we outmatched them. Like, sure, they have some players that are better, but at least when it comes to playing as a country, we've been playing better than the Netherlands. So I'm confident that we're gonna win, but it's gonna be a very close and tight game. I'm predicting 1-0. I'm predicting 1-0 US. What's your prediction, like score wise?
Okay, so kind of like piggybacking on what you said about like the U.S. not having great like final halves. Like it's very clear, like in every single like game that they played.
Hello, you're going out.
Have Gareth Bale, that motherfucker, score the goal.
Yeah, I'm pissed that he scored, bro. He's washed. Bro, he's washed. I don't know. We should not have given up that penalty. I'm not gonna lie. We should have.
Shouldn't have, but it's whatever. You're already in. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, fuck Wills.
But it's like the England game, we didn't really get. We had more opportunities in the first half than the second half.
That's true.
And and especially in this Iran game, it was another like example of that. We were 1-0, and
We
Iran came very close at the end
we
to
dominated that
scoring.
game. We dead ass
Yeah.
dominated Iran. We should have
Well,
won
yeah, but
3-0 at
again,
least.
Iran, like there was that one like last like shot that they got off. Matt Turner like goes off to the side
Oh
and like
yeah,
it
he almost let
was
that.
wide open, but
Yeah,
then
he almost
it
let
was
it
saved at
in.
the last second.
Yeah, he. I think like he caught the ball and then dropped it. Like it went through his hands and it almost went to the goal. I got so
Yeah.
scared for a second.
No fucking way, dude. No way
Yeah,
we're about to lose.
yeah, and
But
I do want to say though, yeah. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
another thing that I also want to, I want Tim Weah to stop like with these like offsides merchants. Like, damn, dude.
I'm not gonna lie. When they called offside, I thought it was a goal. Like I was so pissed when they called offside because he looked so
I mean,
onside.
like looking back at like when they showed like the review, like when he was off, like that he was quote unquote offsides. Did look like the defender was like somewhat in front of him, and he just like made a move that like kind of just like got like broke free of it.
Yeah, it's because of technology, dude. I was.
Yeah, dude, like
They have a
just
thing
why
called
is like
they have a thing called VAR, which is essentially just
yeah,
instant replay. Like they just replay plays and they look
right,
over it, right? Using VAR, and they're able to like detect players that are offside, even if like you're like a hair offside. They'll call it
right,
through
yeah,
technology. So that's what happened with Tim Weah. Like he had his foot was offside. That's why they called it. Like
yeah,
like if
and that's what sucks
yeah.
because
So
like if that game was 2-0, like I definitely would not have been like that nervous like
hmm
going into the second half. I would
yeah,
have just been like, okay, they score a goal, it's whatever. Just hold the ball because and that's another thing I feel like the U.S. does way too like often, which stresses me out way too much. Is that they hold on to the ball rather than trying to like just go and like attack. They just like kind of like it's kind of like
they just
in,
waste
like
time essentially, right?
yeah, it's kind of like how in like football or something you'll run the ball to like burn the clock.
Yeah, that's what they do.
That's kind of what they were
Yeah,
doing,
and
and it's like
it's
it's
a
a little
no.
irritating. It's like you can if you have an opportunity to score another goal and give yourself a better cushion, why not take it?
Exactly. I think it's because the U.S. struggles in the last half of the goal.
Right.
They're not good at converting chances. They don't have that striker like a Luis Suarez or a Ronaldo or a Lewandowski. They don't have one of the best strikers in the world like all these other countries have. So it's just gonna be so hard for them to convert. That's why we need
Right.
players like Christian Pulisic and Tim Weah to step up. Which Pulisic has been stepping up. Which Weah has
Oh
been
yeah.
stepping up. Even though Weah didn't really play the best game against Iran, I'm
Yeah.
expecting our two best players, including our midfield, like Xavier McKinney, if I did say his name right, and the other midfielders to play
Yeah.
well as well, because that's our strongest part of our team, our midfield. We have a very good midfield.
Uh,
Though
I
I do want to
that,
say, I do want to say
um,
though. Wait, what are you gonna say?
yeah. I just wanted to intervene real quick. I wanted to ask you who. Okay, so you said it was gonna be 1-0, right?
Yeah,
Who do you think scores that goal?
I think it's gonna be Pulisic. Pulisic,
Pulisic?
or
I don't know.
because he has to. He's literally our best player, and he knows how to like get in goal. Like he knows how to create
Okay,
chances.
so he does. Okay, he is our best player. Yes, like no doubt. But I mean, coming off an injury, I don't really know. He's definitely gonna be involved, but I don't know if he's gonna be like playing for that long.
It's
He
hard to
might be,
say.
like,
It's hard to say. You can't really predict who scores because for all we know,
Yeah,
like our goalkeeper could score. Like you know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. But
but
when it comes to the other half of the World Cup, I mean, outside of the U.S., what we're talking about, I'm not gonna lie. Like, who do you think is gonna win the World Cup? Like, which
okay.
country?
I mean, so again, this might be me being biased because being like like American, but then also like I see South Korea and they're just like, dude, like the fire and like the like energy that they have is just insane.
Mm.
Like
Who they put? Oh, they beat Portugal today. That's
maybe
true.
Portugal 2-1, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, they lost to Ghana, but like
It's whatever. You guys advanced. Wait.
yeah,
Let me look.
we did.
Let me pull up the bracket so I can see who's playing who.
Yeah.
Are they World Cup games?
I don't know who they're playing exactly. I think I think
Let's
it's a
see.
European team.
Let's see. Where is it? They're playing Brazil. GG's, bro. Y'all are
Oh,
losing.
I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
South Korea. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
man.
y'all are done, bro. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Brazil,
well, because
Brazil
like
got a
yeah, because the thing is,
squad,
I'm pretty
bro.
sure Neymar's coming back.
Yeah, Neymar should be playing in the round of 16. He
Yeah,
got injured
so
the
like
first game because he hurt his ankle, so that's
yeah,
GG's. I'm not gonna
his ankle
lie.
was swollen though.
Yeah, his ankle was fucked. Yeah,
It
I
looked
was
bad.
I was scared that he wasn't gonna play, but
Yeah,
I'm happy that he's back. I hate
yeah,
injuries. Like it sucks, bro. Cause what's his name?
uh,
Karim Benzema, the striker from France, he plays for Real Madrid. He won the Ballon d'Or this
mhm.
past year, which is essentially the Ballon d'Or is like MVP. Right, it's the
Okay,
MVP for soccer.
mhm.
So essentially, he
Yeah,
was the best player in the world, or one of the best players in the world. Oh, he is one of the best players in the world, and he got injured the day before the World Cup started. So I was like
mhm.
really sad that he couldn't play.
Okay.
So and that was like his first World Cup in like 8 years since he last played
Yeah,
because he has a lot of injuries and shit. So like I felt bad, but I do want to say when it comes to favorites, who I think is gonna win this World Cup. I'm not gonna lie, I got France winning. France, like,
yeah.
bro, yo, France is like
He's a
the
very heavy favorite.
dude. They are the Golden State Warriors of soccer. Like they have so many good players at every single position.
Yeah,
They won the Euros, or no, sorry, they lost the Euros. They went to the final that year, but they won the last World Cup, and they had a young 19-year-old Kylian Mbappe. You know who Mbappe is? One of the best
yeah. I know
players.
who Mbappe
Yeah,
is.
Mbappe. It's been 4 years. Mbappe has been killing it this World Cup. Essentially, I'm not gonna lie, with the players that they have, um, with Mbappe at the attack, they look really fucking good. I'm not gonna lie, Argentina as well. This is Messi's last World Cup, so I know for a
Yeah,
fact he's gonna try to go for this World Cup because he hasn't won one before. He's won
yeah,
a international trophy. I don't know
yeah. He did.
the tournament that he won, but I think it was like a gold
Um,
medal in the Olympics. I think he won for Argentina.
yeah,
But with his last World Cup, with this being his last, he's gonna try to go for it. Portugal as
he's gonna do
well.
it all.
Cristiano Ronaldo, this is his last World Cup as well, so he's gonna try to capture one. I'm not gonna lie, outside of France, I got either Argentina or Portugal. I'm gonna say right now, I think Brazil are frauds. I think Brazil's extremely overhyped.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
that must be a hot take
I
right
think they're
there.
fucking frauds. I think people overhype them. Like, yeah, they have a good team, but I don't think they're better than. Like, in my opinion, they're not better than Argentina. They're not better than France. They're not better than England. They're not better than Portugal. I don't think they're better than Spain. Like, sure, they got lot of young good guys. Brazil's notoriously known for producing very good young
Yeah,
talent. They do
homegrown,
that
like homegrown.
they create a lot of crazy young talent every single
Yeah,
year,
that's like
but I just feel like with how basically how they coach their players, I just don't think it gels well. Not only that, a lot of their players can get injured, such as Neymar. Good thing he is coming back, but I did say Brazil is beating South Korea, but I'm
yeah.
not gonna lie. Like, even if they do get to the
You
quarterfinals,
think that South Korea wins?
no, I think Brazil does win. I think Brazil smacks South Korea, but I wouldn't be
Um,
surprised if Brazil does lose because they're kind of
okay.
notoriously known for choking games.
Yeah.
But if they do win and they move on, they'll have to play either Japan or Croatia, and I think Croatia got it in the back because Croatia
Yeah.
they did make it to the final last World Cup and they got a squad, bro. And Croatia's a sleeper team. I'm not gonna lie, Croatia people slept on Croatia last World Cup. They almost won the World Cup in 2018. So if they do, if Brazil does advance to the quarterfinals, which it most likely will be, unless South Korea pulls off a crazy upset, they're probably gonna play Croatia and they're probably gonna get smacked. I'm not gonna lie. Um,
I'm gonna say this right now. I really want the Korea and Japan to play each other because that'd be just so cool.
oh my God, yeah, because they could play each other if they both win their games.
They both win, yeah, but
Yeah.
like you said, they're playing like like underrated or like good teams.
Yeah. I'm for sure gonna be watching that South Korea Brazil game. That's gonna be a good game. I'm not gonna lie. There's a chance South Korea could pull it off. Like,
Yeah, and if they do, then I will be running across campus.
yeah, that'd be lit, bro. That'd be lit. I mean,
But
my dream World Cup scenario for the final is to be Argentina Portugal, Messi versus
that would be
Ronaldo.
that would be cool.
That would essentially decide the GOAT debate.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to
Okay.
soccer slash football, there's been a lot of
Mhm.
debate on who's the GOAT, right? Messi or Ronaldo. We have a lot of young
Right.
GOATs in the. we have a lot of young goats coming up, like Pulisic and Mbappe. They're the future, of course. But right
Right.
now, as the years pass, we have Ronaldo and Messi. That's been the debate for the past 10 years. Let me ask you this: as a casual, right? I know you're a casual. Who do you think is the goat, Messi or Ronaldo? Just like from an eye test, as someone who
Me.
doesn't really watch
Me.
soccer slash football, who is it? Messi?
Messi. I think Messi.
I respect that. I respect that. For me, it's Ronaldo.
Well,
I grew up watching Ronaldo. I've been a United fan. I've seen him for years. But I think Messi is the better answer. I'm not gonna lie. I've recently come to terms that Messi is the goat. It was hard it was a hard pill for me to swallow,
it's
man.
very hard. I'll
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, it was so because I'm a Ronaldo fanboy. I fucking love Ronaldo. But as of recent, I looked at Messi's stats the other day. I was like, bro, Messi's insane. He has 7 Ballon d'Ors, which is 7 MVPs. Like that's
Yeah,
insane,
and
and
that right there,
that's
like
crazy.
that's a deciding factor.
Yeah, and Ronaldo has 5 Ballon d'Ors, I think. So 7 to 5.
Mhm.
Not only that, Messi has, I think, accomplished more for his club. So it's becoming a little bit more clear that Messi was the goat. I think a couple of years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, like at some point people were considering Ronaldo the goat, but I think over the past couple of years, Messi kind of like pulled away. But
Yeah.
it's been like they're both like kind of leaving their primes. Ronaldo's
Mhm.
37, Messi's 35. They're basically LeBron's age, and with
Yeah.
LeBron, they're getting old.
Ronaldo is about LeBron's age. Messi's
I
like
think
a
yeah,
few
he's
years
2 years
old.
younger. I think something like that,
Yeah.
35, 36. But it's kind of crazy that these two goats are going away. So, you know, um, oh
Before
fuck,
we move on to the next topic, I want to give my predictions on what the World Cup matchup might be.
what the World Cup final?
The World Cup final, yes.
Okay, what are your
I have a
predictions?
feeling. Okay, so look, okay. As much as I want South Korea to win, like that's just me. There's probably a good chance that they lose. So my predictions: Brazil and France.
Brazil and France. That's a good take. I'm not gonna lie. Even though I think
But
Brazil are frauds, that's a
the one
good
the
that's a good
one
one.
thing though that I don't like about France is that Mbappe gives me like Draymond Green vibes.
What do you mean? Explain. That's
So
funny as
okay,
fuck.
so you know how Draymond Green's like a very very big shit talker. He's considered like a diva to like other teams and everything. He's a head case.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Mbappe gives me those kind of vibes.
Really? Wow. Because
Cause
I,
like
I
no,
think
well, cause like, it's
I
been
think.
confirmed that he is a head case.
Oh, really? I
Yeah,
I,
like
I mean
apparently like a
the
lot of people those like he's a big head case and he's a diva.
he kind of well I think the way Mbappe carries himself, he kind of acts humble. I'm not gonna lie. Like
I mean, yeah,
I've watched a lot of games from Mbappe, but I see what you're kind of maybe like from a locker room perspective, maybe like off the field, he acts like that Draymond Green type figure. I could see that.
yeah.
I could see where you're coming from. But Mbappe is still fucking dangerous, dude. Like, have you seen him
Oh
play?
yeah,
Like, have you seen him play this World Cup, bro? Have you
yeah.
seen
I
some of the
have.
goals,
He is
bro?
so.
That motherfucker is nasty. And you know what's crazy? He's 23
It's
years old.
crazy too how like his first World Cup was when he was like 18, 19.
Yeah, and he won it too. He won the World Cup at
Yeah,
19.
that is crazy. That is just so crazy to think about.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, he's only getting better. He's playing with
He's only
Messi and
getting better.
Neymar. He has like the best experience, the best teammates possible. So he's only gonna get better. But you said Brazil and France in the final, right? So with
Yes.
those teams, who do you think is gonna win the final? Like, who do you think is gonna win the World Cup?
Probably gonna be France again. We don't know it. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I don't want England to win. I'm not gonna lie. I fucking hate the British fans.
yeah,
They piss me off. It's
yeah,
not coming
Harry
home.
Kane's in it.
Yeah,
Bitch ass.
it's not coming home. By the way, the World Cup. Football is not coming home to England. Fuck you guys. Nah, I'm playing. But England got a squad too. If England,
England is still pretty good. Even
England.
though Harry Kane's still like washed, but like the rest of the team's still really good.
Yep, they got a really good squad as well.
Yeah.
England's playing Senegal on Sunday. France is playing Poland on Sunday. If they win their games, they're gonna face each other in the quarterfinal. That's gonna be an amazing game. Let's see. Morocco's gonna be playing Spain next Tuesday. Portugal's playing Switzerland next Tuesday. Winner of those games, which I imagine is gonna be Spain, Portugal in the quarterfinals. That's gonna be amazing as well. I'm not gonna lie, the other half of the bracket for the World Cup looks really fucking good. The side of the bracket where we got like the U.S., Argentina, Japan, that bracket kind of looks a little bit underwhelming. But I do imagine those games are gonna be the better games, considering that these
They're flying
countries,
with it, you know.
yeah, they're gonna fly under the radar exactly. So, Yeah, I'm very excited for this World Cup, bro.
I'm very excited too.
Um,
I can't wait. This is probably the most like excited I've been for soccer, football or soccer in a while.
Exactly, same. And for me, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a casual too. Even though I'm into football, I only watch these big tournaments. I don't really watch the
Right.
Premier League as much as I used to when I was growing
Uh,
up. But I do want to say though, very excited for the World Cup. But we were talking about the goats. Like
yeah.
like we're talking about Messi and Ronaldo and who's the goat. So what do you like? How do you think people like classify somebody as a goat? Like what do you
So
think? What do you think? Like how do you think people like say, "Oh, Ronaldo's the goat of soccer or slash football," or Messi is the goat, or LeBron's the goat for basketball? What makes you think people say that? Right? What's
yeah,
considered the
okay,
goat of
yeah.
their
So
sport?
it's like yeah, I didn't want to talk about just like soccer or football. I want to talk about kind of just like in sports in general.
Yeah.
Well, especially well for football or soccer, and as well, these also can like contribute to basketball as well. I feel like the goat, like the definition of a goat for those two sports, is that if you can lead your team to the finals, okay, like you don't even necessarily have to win, but like you get there, like you can be considered the goat.
I think I mean here's my problem with your take on that. Anyone a lot of players have done that, but just because they haven't
Yeah.
won, like if I'm using your logic, then I would say Chris Paul's the goat. Because Chris Paul led the Suns to the finals. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Well,
don't.
okay, well, like what I mean by that is that like okay, like they're just like they have the accolades to prove that they are really good and
Mm,
that they're all-star caliber, MVP caliber, like that type of like that type of player. And
okay.
like they can do it, they can lead like a group of like scrubs to the finals,
Yeah.
then like yes, they can be considered the GOAT. I think that's why a lot of people think LeBron is the GOAT.
I think for me, like I think what makes a player a goat of their sport is if they can literally move people. Like if they can literally like impact somebody on a level that if they can impact someone who doesn't even like watch their sport. So for example, my mom, she does not really watch sports like that. I mean, she does, but she's not really into sports like how, me and you are, like with basketball, for
Yeah.
example. But she knows of LeBron, right? The fact that she knows of LeBron and she doesn't watch basketball says a lot. Like that
Right.
basically is groundbreaking. Like if you can get your average human who's not into sports know about you, I think that's what like really changes the game of that sport. So for example,
It gives you
someone
public
like
image that definitely does help too.
yeah, so like like for example, my I have family members that like they don't even speak English like that, but they know who LeBron is. Like that's
Right.
goat behavior. Like they're not gonna say oh Iguodala the goat. They're not gonna say that because they don't know who that is, but they know who
Right.
LeBron is because LeBron is such an iconic figure. Not only that, when it
Uh,
comes to being considered the goat, you have to move that sport in a way that hasn't been moved before. So for example, Messi and Ronaldo, they are so good at their sport that teams literally like have to change their formation and the way they play and the way they defend just to be able to stop players like Messi and Ronaldo. Like that's
yeah.
how good you have to be. Like for example with Ronaldo, like when basketball, right with LeBron was
Mhm.
so good even at such a young age. Teams like even in like the early years of like 2005, 2006, 2007,
Yeah.
even the best teams in the league with the best defensive schemes, they could not stop a young LeBron. Like
It's not-
they couldn't. Like for example, in 2007 when LeBron led the Cavs to the NBA Finals, he played the Pistons. Right, the Pistons were one of the best teams in the league, and he literally willed his team to the finals. He scored like 25 straight points
yeah.
at one point, like in one of the games, which basically led the Cavs to the finals. That was insane. Like that's goat like behavior, and essentially, I think you have to have not only that. I think you have to have moments that literally change the sport. So, for
Yeah.
example, Mike Breen blocked by James. The block that LeBron did on
Okay,
Iguodala
yeah,
down 3-1.
I'll give you that too. Yes, like
Moments
having
like
like
that.
like a career like defining highlight, like that's another big thing. Because the reason why I said that they don't necessarily have to win because championships don't really like
I think it
aren't
does matter. I think it
they're very
does.
they're very okay. I wouldn't say
I
they're overrated, but
I
like
I
they're
think
very overlooked.
Well, for me, I disagree. I think it does matter because I think the reason why people say Jordan's to go over LeBron, they'll say, oh, he has 6 rings, he's 6 and
But it
0 in the
doesn't help.
finals. But
But it
that
doesn't help that the fact that he had a super team around him.
okay, that's true. But Jordan's
He
been
had
so dominant. Jordan's been so dominant for so long that it doesn't even matter that he had a super team. he beat teams even before having a super team with teams that were average at best.
Yeah,
You
sure,
know,
sure.
like the first three-peat that he had, the Bulls weren't really a super team. They just had it was Jordan, Pippen, and a bunch of really good role players, right? That played
I
very
mean,
well
yeah, sure.
together. You could say that for the super team for the next three-peat, right? That's fair. I'll give you
Sure.
that. But at the end of the day, Jordan did so many things, even as a youngin before he won a ring, such as leading the league in scoring for multiple years, multiple MVPs, Defensive Player of the Year, and MVP in one season. Things like that.
Mhm.
For any, and you have to do it. You have to accomplish those insane statistics for a very
Right.
long time. Jordan did it for what, 13 plus years, right? And
Yeah.
that's why people consider LeBron the GOAT because he's been dominating the league. He's been one of the best players in the league, if not the best player in the league for the past 20 fucking years, right? Like nobody's gonna say Luca's the GOAT, but if Luca is
Right.
performing the way he's at for the next 20 years of his career, and he has defining moments that literally change the game and wins 4 to 5 championships, people are going to consider Luca the GOAT of basketball or one of the GOATs for
Right.
basketball, right? Like you have to do a lot of things in your sport to be considered the GOAT. Like you can't just be crazy dominant for a year or two. You have to be crazy dominant for your entire career, which is incredibly
Right.
difficult to do. That's why people like Messi and Ronaldo are considered GOATs because
Yeah.
they led their league in goals scored and they dominated teams for 15, 16, no, basically their entire lives, you know?
Yeah. And like also too, like in terms of awards, MVP I think is like one of the biggest ones that matter the most to like being considered a GOAT.
That's true.
Sure, like yes, sure, finals like and championships are important.
Yeah.
But like just take LeBron for an example. Like a lot of the time, like a lot of remember like his early year with the like years with the Cavs before he signed with the Heat and everything like that.
Mm,
Like he was winning MVP, but like he was taking these scrubs to the finals
exactly.
because he was the most valuable player to his team.
Yep, that's true. Yeah. And I
So like, if you have multiple MVP awards, like that just proves that's like, oh, you can take like literally just like average players, make them at least decent, and then just go on like this insane run to the finals.
I mean, here's the thing though, LeBron had help. Like it isn't like LeBron won his championships like by himself. He had D Wade. Ray Allen saved a ring for him. Let's be real. If Ray Allen didn't hit that three,
No,
I'm not. Go-
I'm not talking about like the Heat. I'm talking about just like like during the
oh,
Cavs
before
years,
that.
like,
Okay, before the Heat.
yeah,
Okay,
before the Heat, like before he signed with the Heat,
that's
like
true. That I understand. Yeah, I feel what you're saying. Though I want to say though, I hate how people hated on LeBron for going to the Heat. He had no other choice, in my opinion. In my opinion,
I
he.
think the fact that I don't think Cleveland gave. Well, it's because of the fact that looking back at it now, because especially from like a lot of the reports and stuff like that, like doing like research on that, I think it was the fact that just like he just did not want to play there because of the fact that the team was never improving.
Yeah, the front office failed to give LeBron any good players around him. Like, let's be real. What was LeBron's best player on the Cavs before he left? What, fucking Mo Williams? Like, no offense, he's not ass or anything. I mean, he had he had Shaq, but that was a washed up Shaq. That Shaq was washed.
lot.
That was a fat Shaq, bro. That wasn't prime
Yeah.
Lakers Shaq, nah, bro. He was washed.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was. I think it was just it was 100% justified why LeBron left.
Yeah.
I'm annoyed that people treated LeBron like that because he realized he was wasting his career in Cleveland. The front office failed to give him any tools to compete.
Yeah.
And at the time, he had to go against the Celtics. You know, the Celtics were stacked. They had a super team. You know, Paul Pierce, KG, Ray Allen. Yeah, bro. He couldn't get past them. He kept losing to them. He lost to the Magic.
Yeah.
You know, as much as LeBron was dominant, he needed players around him. You know, that's why he
Right.
won those rings. You know, even though LeBron was the best player on the team on those championship teams, he needed players that could help him, right? D Wade, Ray Allen. When he was on the Cavs, he had Kyrie, even Kevin Love.
Yeah.
Kevin Love played great defensively. In those games that they won that ring in
Absolutely.
Cleveland. You know, even in for example, when they won in LA, when he won in 2020 with the Lakers, AD stepped up. Players even like Contavious Caldwell Pope, a random scrub, he stepped up. Rondo stepped up. Dwight Howard stepped up. You need players around you. Like you can't just will your team to a championship. It's just not possible. You can will your team to the finals. LeBron's been doing that, but you can't do
Can't
that.
with the
Yeah, you can't.
like the whole thing with championships, like especially in the NBA, it's like okay, then the other team that you're playing, they got that for a reason. They're either like they have a real like superstar players, They have outstanding coaching.
Yeah.
And like you look at your team, if it's like you're just the best player and that's it. Like that might not be enough.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So, but like,
speaking of championships, though, like I think for some sports, it's like you can use that criteria. Like I think for each sport, when it comes to considering a goat, the criteria is different. It's more or less the same, but the criteria is used differently. So, for
yeah,
example, like if we want to use the rings debate in the NBA, like if we're gonna use that logic, we would say like, oh, Robert Horry is the goat because he has 7 rings. But we all know that's not true because
you'll know.
Jordan has 6 rings, but he also has been dominating for for so long. Same thing goes for Braun. When it comes to soccer though slash football, like you can use that argument because winning the Ballon d'Or is incredibly fucking hard, right? It's like you're not only competing with your own league in Spain or England, you're competing with people in other leagues around the world, right?
Yeah.
So it's a lot harder in my opinion too. So for example, winning a Ballon d'Or is way harder than winning the MVP in the NBA because you're not just
Right.
playing you're not competing with people in your own league, but you're competing with leagues around the world. And
Right.
that's
Exactly.
how many, that's so many leagues, right? Like the NBA, you're competing against 30 teams. When it comes to Ballon d'Or, you're competing with 1,000 teams with so many
Exactly.
players, right? So it's completely different. That's why, like, I think when it comes to like considering the goat when it comes to soccer slash football, saying like, oh, Messi's the goat because he has 7 Ballon d'Ors is much more valid compared to using that criteria when using it for like basketball, for example.
Yeah.
Though it's very valid when it comes to using it in basketball, right?
Another thing I want to add is that like the GOAT debate, it kind of differs between sports, especially with you know how there's like for basketball and football and soccer, so just football and basketball, like
Yeah,
soccer,
yeah, yeah.
not like
Yeah, I know, I
uh,
know.
that works because like because it's okay because like most of the positions in soccer or slash football are about the same, like they do like strikers mainly.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay? Like but when it comes to things like baseball and like the NFL, like the National Football League, like that's where it differs.
Yeah, I agree.
Because a lot of people, okay,
I
when
think yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
when I talk to like other people about this, saying like who's the greatest player in the NFL or something like that, they say like, do you want like the greatest quarterback or like the greatest just like other position? Because in football, there's so many different positions. The quarterback, so that's why a lot of people say like, okay, this isn't the greatest player of all time. This is the greatest player at the position of all time.
Mm. So so
Because like,
so so would you say like Tom Brady is the greatest football player ever, or the greatest quarterback
okay,
ever?
he's the greatest quarterback. Yes, greatest quarterback. I can agree with that.
Okay, but you wouldn't say who would you say the greatest football player is like in the NFL, like ever?
Well, see,
Is that hard to
well,
say?
again, well, that's where that problem becomes from because they all play different positions.
Yeah,
You
I
can't
see. I
say
see
that
what
like,
you're saying.
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like okay,
for me, like
this position like the quarterback. Okay, sure, it's like the most vital, but like also he can't play other positions. That's why
yeah,
that's how
Tom,
this
yeah, yeah. Like let's be real. Tom Brady's not playing on the D line or O line. He's getting fucking
right.
pancakes, right? Like what I'm saying, he can't play corner.
Mhm.
He can't play wide receiver. We
Like
obviously saw what
no, like
happened this season.
the greatest wide receiver. I like Jerry Rice is considerably the greatest wide receiver of all time.
That's
Barry
true.
Sanders is considered the greatest running back of all time.
Yeah, I see what you're
Like
saying. But I feel like with
so
Brady,
baseball too. It's like
I feel like with Brady though, like when it comes to a player like him, you can make the argument for being the greatest football player of all time because not only is he an amazing quarterback, but he has 7 rings and he's done it with multiple
yeah.
teams, right? And he's known for
He
leading
didn't win
teams
those
and
rings just by himself though too.
that
Like
is
he
true.
had like
That's true.
and that's where like it gets convoluted is because of the fact that Tom Brady didn't kick the winning field goal to win him the Super Bowl.
That is true.
That was his kicker
That was
himself.
Goskowski. That's his name, right?
No,
Stephen Goskowski.
that was not Vinatieri. That was Adam
Oh,
Vinatieri.
wrong player. Wrong player. My bad.
Yeah, but it's the same thing with baseball too, is in the sense that there's many different positions. It's like if you're an outfielder, you're not going to be pitching.
And
Or
you're
you're
not a
not going to be playing
catcher.
infield.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, okay, so moving on along, I've been playing a lot of games, bro. I recently got back into playing God of War. Obviously, the new
not a
God of
boy.
War came out.
Like my brother's been playing it and he loves it.
And God of War, ever since it came out, a lot of people have been saying it's a contender for Game of the Year. So
It's
the Game of the Year awards have been out. I think they're called the Game Awards. Basically
yeah.
a company that talks about like
They
the best
actually
games each year. They have released a list of like the best games this year.
they the
Um,
awards are being announced with like less than a week. As we're recording this, which is on a Friday or December 2nd.
okay. Yeah, so I do want to say that with the Game Awards coming, what it among the games that were nominated, I'm trying to pull up the list right now. Give me a second. What is your game of the year? Like, what do you think has been the best game this year?
I mean, like, so okay. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't even been playing many new games this year.
Yeah.
I do. So I feel like God of War is like the heavy favorite to win this, and I feel like it probably will win Game of the Year.
I think it's the only I think it's a heavy favorite now simply because the game just released. That's why. Like,
Right? Yeah.
and I think over time,
Well,
of
this
course,
one, like
like
people
I've
have probably
seen
already finished it
I've
because it's
seen
been out for like
gameplay.
almost a month.
Yeah, I've seen the gameplay for it. It's amazing. The storyline's amazing. But for
Yeah.
me, with the games that let's look at the games that have been nominated first, and then we'll talk about it. Right. So games that have been nominated for Game of the Year. Oh wait. For the games that have been nominated for Game of the Year, the games at the Game Awards, A Plague, Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Me personally, I think Elden Ring takes the cake for Game of the Year. This game is the base. It's basically the culmination of all the Dark Souls games in one. You have the best mechanics. You have an open world. Not only that, the lore is top tier for Elden Ring, and the way the combat is basically one of the best I've ever seen. The game is difficult, but when it comes to playing a game like Elden Ring, I was addicted the entire time. I could not
Really?
stop playing when it comes to a game like Elden Ring. I had such a good time. Not only that, the replayability is absolutely insane, and I think that
Yeah.
I think it has that's what it has the edge over God of War in my opinion. Because with Elden Ring, there's so many ways you can play the game. There's no linear fashion of playing the game. You can have a playthrough with the sword fighter, and then the next playthrough you can you can use like magic and stuff, and then the playthrough after you can do a mix of both. And sometimes you can even play the game with just your bare fist alone. There's so many ways you
Yeah.
can play Elden Ring compared to
Yeah.
God of War. Of course, I think God of War is an amazing fucking game. In fact, I think the God of War storyline is better than
Yeah.
Elden Ring. In
Oh,
fact, when you go
I
to
want
like
to say
Thor
this.
and Odin,
Yeah.
what are you gonna say? Sorry, I cut you off.
So another thing, so I think Game of the Year. So like the how Game of the Year puts the definition clearly, it's recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields.
Mm,
So on the creative side for God of War, because I've watched it, like especially with how the like the gods talk,
mm.
like it's crazy because it's like they treat them like normal people.
That's
They
true.
don't
I
speak
feel
like
that.
they don't speak like in normal like or like kind of like noble ways. They just like they'll say like, oh, it's like okay, let's cut the shit, like
Yeah,
stuff like that.
I think it's
And
different. No, I think it's
that's
different
a
because
creative way of making it, not like to make them feel more human. And I
yeah,
think that I love that.
I agree. I agree. I like how at least in God of War 4 and 5 with the PlayStation God of War games, the modern day ones compared to the older God of War games. If you looked at like the first original trilogy of God of War, Kratos and when he was living in Greece in the Greek when he fought all the Greek gods when he took down the pantheon of gods, they all had like egos. They had crazy egos.
Yeah.
I'm the god of this. I'm the god of that. I'm a god. I'm gonna fuck you up. Things of that nature. But when it comes to the modern day God of War games, 2018
Era.
and Ragnarok, in the Norse era, as you mentioned, they made Kratos much more human. Same thing with
Yeah.
when you look at Thor, when you look at Odin.
Odin.
A lot of these gods they have a lot of human-like features, which I really like. I think
Yeah,
it,
and I think that's so creative on their part.
and in my
Like another
opinion,
thing is
like
also just like how like the gameplay is too, especially like okay, I keep watching the Thor fight because it's so cool.
oh my god, the Thor fight was
When
fucking
he just
crazy.
knocks you, kills you, and then like literally just like
Bro, he
just says,
resurrects
"I
you,
stay well
dog.
done."
He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, he says, Oh, we're not finished. I say when we're done, and motherfucker
Yeah,
just
that is so
resurrects you.
creative,
He
so cool.
revives you. Yo, have you seen the reactions to like streamers like
Yeah,
seeing how it
dude,
is, bro?
it's
It's
so stupid.
crazy, bro. It's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
bro, he kills you, and then he's like, "Nah, bro, we're not done," and revives you. That's the. I'm not gonna lie. That's the hardest thing we've seen this year in gaming, like for a while. That's
That's
the.
disrespectful
That's
too,
crazy
dude. Like,
disrespectful, bro.
on Thor's part, dude, like you killed him and then you revive him because you were like, nah, that's post, nah, you fucking like,
Yeah, and there's a moment later on in the game that's insane. That's a crazy spoiler. I won't say it. Yeah, there's a moment that happens at the end of the game that's absolutely insane. I'm not gonna mention it because I don't know if you're like watching walkthroughs and shit. You gotta watch the end of the game. It's crazy, but
nah,
there's.
no, dude,
I'm not
like
gonna lie.
it's
God
so,
of At least when it comes to game of the year, I think it's between two games: Elden Ring and God of War.
yeah,
I don't
I
think
think
any other.
that,
I don't think any other game has come close to what both games have been able to capture. So I think it's gonna go either way. For
yeah,
me, I think Elden Ring has been the better game, but only by like a hair. I think it
okay,
has the
well,
slight edge in terms of gameplay, but I think what God of War has over
think
Elden
about
Ring.
it like this way.
Oh wait, let me finish. I think what God of War has over Elden Ring is the story. I think God of War
Mm-hmm.
has a better story than Elden Ring, but
Yeah,
in my personal opinion, I think Elden Ring has better gameplay, like the technical
yeah,
aspects of the game when it comes to fighting, when it comes to the open world, because Elden Ring is an open world game, and while God of War is somewhat open world, you're still somewhat limited, and not only that, you still play somewhat linear when it comes to fighting, whereas God of War, there's so many ways you can fight. You have an endless amount of possibilities to build your character in terms of how
yeah.
you want to fight, what weapons you want to use, what stats you want to upgrade. It's completely different than God of
Mhm.
War, and that's what I like more. And that's just a personal feeling of mine. But if God of War wins Game of the Year, I'll be satisfied. And
I want to,
as long as it's one of the two games that win. That's all I'm saying.
so like, yeah, like what I was saying was, so like, look at it this way. Elden Ring has been out since like I believe February or March.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's about. It's been about. It's been almost been like a thing for about 10 months, like almost a whole year.
Mhm.
Like God of War Ragnarok, it's only been out for like a couple months at least.
No, a couple weeks came out
Oh yeah,
last
yeah,
month.
a
Some
couple
shit.
weeks, and like everyone and like the story, like everyone loves it.
Mm.
Like that just goes to show you that like it's got quality over quantity. Sure, like Elden Ring has been good for like the 10 months that like it's there, but the fact that it got released a month before the Game Awards and it's being nominated, that is hard to do.
That is true. That is true. I mean, Elden Ring is gonna have hype for years, considering that
Yeah,
people have been begging for Elden Ring DLC, which is coming, by the way. When that does drop, the hype for Elden Ring will be back for sure. Like,
yeah,
people have been begging for Elden Ring DLC for months now, so it's gonna happen eventually. They're still working on the game. They're still dropping patches for
yeah,
the game, showing you that there's gonna be more content dropping. Because when Elden Ring dropped, I'm not gonna lie, Elden Ring had more hype when it dropped in God of War. I'm gonna be real. Like when Elden Ring dropped, like bro, the amount of memes I've been seeing on Twitter, the amount of people that have been going crazy over the game, has been much more than God of War. But God of War,
yeah,
its release has been very fucking successful. It's a great game.
yeah.
Both are amazing games. So either way, if at least if one of the two games win for Game of the Year, I'm happy. But my pick is Elden Ring. Your pick is probably God of War,
I
right?
say God of War.
Hmm.
Yeah, I say God of War. Yeah,
Yeah, I feel that. I feel what you're saying. But both games are amazing, 10 out of 10 games.
yeah.
Speaking of video games, we know that some games have been turned into anime/cartoons, such as
Like
Cyberpunk. Um,
I think we're bringing this up because the fact that there's a category within the Game Awards where it's like best like adaptation of like a video game.
yeah, what were the games that were nominated for best
I
adaptation?
gotta find that real quick.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it as well.
It's
I have not watched Cyberpunk the anime. I want to get into it, bro. I've been watching like.
oh, so yeah, I haven't played Cyberpunk at all, but like the anime though is very good. Um,
Okay. I'm still
oh
scrolling,
yeah,
bro.
that's adaptation right here. Found it. So the categories or like the shows or movies and stuff like that that were nominated were Arcane, the League of Legends adaptation, Cyberpunk, the Cuphead show, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and Uncharted.
All right, what is your pick? The only show that I watched here is Arcane, and was
Arcade
amazing.
Fighters, for sure.
Yeah,
Like, I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about Uncharted. Like, so I haven't watched it myself yet.
I haven't watched the Sonic movie either, but I heard the reviews were good for it.
The reviews were good. So my like problem with like putting movies is that you're comparing them to the TV shows or to like the animes and like shows like Arcane and Edge Runners. Like those things were like each episode was like 24 minutes and there were 10 episodes, which is about like if I had to like maybe like a couple like 2 to 4 hours.
Hmm.
And so that encompasses like that encompasses about like a movie.
Yeah, that's true.
But I just the Sonic movie was great. Like, don't get me wrong, but like from what I've heard, but just Edge Runners, if you've watched it, to a lot of the people like that are listening right now, if you know the ending, you will know why I think that this should deserve best adaptation.
Hmm. Okay, I gotta check it out, bro. I really gotta see it, bro.
It's so good, but also so depressing at the same time.
Hmm. That's true. I do want to say while scrolling to seeing like the nominations, I saw Content Creator of the Year. Bro, why the
Yeah.
fuck is like who are these white people? Respectfully,
Yeah.
why? Where is Kai
Well,
Cenat? Where is I Show Speed? They've been better than all of these content creators on this list
I think it's the
combined.
fact that Ice Speed has
Respectfully,
had a lot of controversy, like
I
with
get
him.
that, but like when you look at like Kai Cenat, he's been the best content creator this year. I'm surprised there's no black content creators. Like I'm gonna be real, like Carl Jacobs, like really, bro, like that motherfucker hasn't made a fucking video in like 10 months. And I mean, when you look at the description for a streamer or content creator who's made an important and
Yeah.
positive impact on the community in 2022, like if they're going by that, sure, but I feel like it's a little bit misleading. Like if you're gonna go by that, like you should have put in a different type of name for the award instead of content creator of the year. Because in my opinion,
Yeah.
content creator of the year easily Kai Cenat or I Show Speed. Considering what they've done content wise, if we're gonna use that criteria, they no diff all of these people combined. Maybe except Ludwig. Ludwig's been killing it, bro. But
Ludwig has
Ludwig's a great content creator. Excluding him and maybe Nebellion, but Nebellion is not even a content creator. Motherfucker's a Twitter account, bro. Like, stop it.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
So,
Like, I'm just
yeah.
like, oh shit.
But,
It's so dumb.
yeah, well, like on to like the adaptation part, like I feel like the reason why like most video games should have adaptations and stuff like that is because of the fact that it increases their player count. They're like the amount of people that want to buy a game. Like for Edge Runners, it increased the sales.
That's true.
Okay, like however though obviously though like I'm not saying make like an adaptation where it's like basically the plot of the game on like Netflix. I'm talking about kind of like what they did with Edge Runners. Make like a spin-off story. Like it doesn't have to necessarily relate to the actual game itself. It can if you wanted to because it's a spin-off, but you can kind of include like the same kind of like mechanics that were used in the game and like powers and stuff like that were used and use them in the show because like I knew nothing about Cyberpunk like before I watched it,
Yeah.
but like I found out like because from a lot of people who were pointing this stuff out, like there was like a lot of references and stuff that were in Edge Runners that were in the actual game itself.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So you got I'm not really too I would say Arcane is the best. I think at least animation wise and what the story was
Yeah.
given. I'm not gonna go too much into spoilers, but Arcane was amazing. I don't know, like the experience that I have in watching Arcane, top fucking tier content right there. But let's move into our last topic, bro. Kanye West, bro. What's happened with Mr. Ye? You want to go into that one?
Okay, like I hate how we have to keep bringing him up like every single like episode.
Bro, we brought him up last week, dog.
Brought him
Like,
up. Okay, first one. Okay, we brought him up because like at the time like when he was saying this shit like it was like very like it was front page, and
Yeah.
then now it's like even worse.
bro, what the fuck is he doing on Twitter? Did you see him? Okay, let's talk about it real quick. Bro, did you see what he said with Alex Jones?
Yeah, he was like everyone in the world had like in their minds had something creative, and then he follows it up with saying especially Hitler.
Bro, why is he saying, bro, I like the Nazis and
Okay,
shit, bro?
Like,
That guy
like
is...
okay, like like true. Okay, aside from the Hitler stuff, when he said that, he's like, okay, yes, everyone in the world does have something creative to say, but then you follow it up with a Hitler, dude. Like, man, like way to ruin such a good like way of saying something.
I ain't gonna lie, Kanye needs to be beat up. Like someone needs to like he needs to get
Yeah,
jumped. Like a bunch of people need to like go up to him and just jump him. Knock some
yeah,
sense into the dude, bro. Because here's
yeah.
the thing: like, I'm a Kanye fan. You're a Kanye
Or
fan.
give him his bipolar medication or whatever. I don't know.
Like, here's the thing: I'm a Kanye fan. You're a Kanye fan.
Yeah,
Like,
unfortunately,
we cannot defend this. Like, you
we
cannot
can't
be
keep
like,
defending him at this point.
we
Like,
can't use any whataboutism. We can do oh this and that. No, no, no. What he's doing right now is incredibly fucked up,
yes,
and I think the best thing we can do outside of just like putting him down is just ignoring it. Like this is one of his antics, but this is his worst antic yet. When it comes to
this
Kanye
is
antics, I've always ignored it because I just feel like he just does it for attention. But at this point,
he
he
doesn't.
is so far gone that it's like, what the fuck? Like, what is
Like, what
going
the hell
on,
is he
bro?
saying at this point?
Yeah, I mean, at least he made graduation, bro. Like, you know what
Yeah,
I'm
let's make it.
saying?
Okay, so like, yeah, okay, yes, he's a horrible fucking person. Like, I mean, like, no one can deny though that like he obviously like revolutionized like the rap game.
Yeah, he's a legend when it comes to music, but we can just can't ignore
But we can't,
his
defend like what he
antics.
does
You
because
cannot,
like,
bro. He's like, I like the Nazis. That's crazy, bro. Oh my
yeah,
god. And then he's like siding with Hitler, saying that he did some good things, bro. Kanye said. I think he said in his interview with Alex Jones. He said like Kanye invented the microphone, which is not true, factually incorrect. He invented the microwave as well. Hitler invented the microwave, stuff like that, bro. It's incredibly like he's just so
yeah,
uneducated. I just feel like he's so delusional. He even said
yeah.
that the 6 million or 7 million Jewish people that were killed in the Holocaust is factually incorrect, which is crazy. Like I don't know where you're getting your facts from, where you're getting your evidence. Like where's your evidence, Mister Ye? Like what are you talking about? Like
Yeah.
I don't know why this guy is acting this way. I just feel like he needs to be jumped at this point. Like respectfully, like
Yeah.
I'm not promoting violence, but this is one of those times where I'm just like, bro, like he
You
needs to
can't
be
defend him.
he needs to be punched in the face. Like you can't really pull him aside and be like, yo, chill. Yo, Kanye's PR team is going crazy right now. I can't imagine
Probably
work.
do how like he said he still wants to run for president in 2024.
Yo, did you see what he put on Twitter? The swastika sign. The
Yeah.
swastika sign, the Star of David, that was insane. That was
Well,
the
yeah,
tipping
I
point for
guess
him
he
to
was.
getting what's it
I
called?
guess, I guess he was right
Getting
when he said no
suspended.
one man should have all that power.
What? Hello?
Hmm? Hello?
Oh, my bad. I thought you were gonna say
I thought
something
something
after.
happened, but
I thought you were
yeah.
gonna say something after. My bad.
No, but
Uh,
like, yeah, I just can't defend him anymore. Like, I feel like it's the fact that just he's just unhinged at
he's
this
yeah,
point.
he's so far gone. There's no point
Yeah.
of going back. And thing is, he's been like that for like the past 10 years. But
He's been like that for a while, but like we all chalked it up to his bipolar disorder.
yeah, but it's just like I just feel like nobody's at his side. Nobody's pulling him aside and be like, "Yo, you gotta fucking chill." I'm not gonna lie. This is what happens when you have a lot of yes men around you. You don't have someone that
Yeah,
will like pull you
yeah,
aside and tell you like, "Yo, you're fucking up. Like you gotta chill." Like he doesn't have anybody
yeah,
around him that's like that. The people that I feel like he's lost a lot of people, man. Like
yeah. I
he's
mean,
lost. Like he's not friends with Kid Cudi anymore. He doesn't have he lost his wife.
you
I
know,
mean that's a
yeah,
good
I don't
thing.
understand. Like, okay, like on the Kid Cudi part, I don't remember why. So like, I knew that like him and Kanye had beef, but I don't remember why like they split up. Like they just like separated to begin with.
Oh, it's because when Pete Davidson was dating his ex-wife, um,
Hmm.
I think Cuddy was like saying like, "Oh, I'm still friends with Pete and shit," and Kanye didn't
Wow.
like that, so he's like, "Oh, fuck you" and all that shit. So yeah,
Yes.
that's what
Like
happened.
I do remember reading that Kid Cudi like said that he hates Kanye now. He's like there's nothing you can do like in the world that will like make me forgive him.
Yeah, it is sad, bro, because that was like his best friend. They made an album together. Kids See
Just like
Ghost was
no,
great.
like just look at like all the Kid Cudi Kanye collabs like Moon, like all the lights,
They made some
like
amazing shit
yeah,
together.
like Erase Me like on the Man in the Moon 2, like
Yeah, it's sad how the
almost
way it turned this shit turned out, bro. It's tough.
yeah,
It's tough,
and like
bro.
all those songs that they made together were all bangers.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, classics. I do want to say though, like I don't know, man. All I'm saying, only I feel like the only good part about this, and it's fucked up for me to say this, is the fact that his next album gonna be crazy. Like no matter how
Yeah.
good, no matter what Kanye says, his music will always be good, bro.
I
Like
mean, like, so apparently, there's a good chance that like his next album just gonna be Donna too.
I know he already made Donda too. Like it's already
Well, no,
released.
well the thing is though, remember he said that a lot of the songs in that album were not finished.
That's true. He rushed it. He still has to work on it. But at the end of the
So
day, bro,
it
I mean,
was,
let's forget about the music part. Let's not talk about the music. Just speaking of Kanye and his antics, bro, it's over, bro. Yo, did you see what he said about Chris Paul? Chris Paul got with his ex-wife.
oh my god.
Did you see that? Did you see that tweet?
Yeah, I saw
Yo,
that.
that
I
no,
did.
yo, Chris Paul got the Kardashian curse, bro. No wonder he blew that 2-0 lead in the finals.
Yep.
Yeah, makes sense now. It makes sense. Yeah, that's why the Suns lost in the finals, bro. That's crazy. Yeah, did you
Yeah,
see?
you want
Did
no
you see?
idea.
Yeah, did you see that picture that Drake was wearing last year? When he during the CLB rollout, he was wearing a Chris Paul jersey when him and Kanye were beefing.
Uh,
So that's like generational trolling right there, man. That's
yeah.
crazy. Anything else you want to say? We wrap it up for the people. Wrap up this
Um,
episode.
I think that's all we have. That's
All
all I
right,
got.
man. That was episode 3
Yeah.
for the Salty Ones podcast. I think we're gonna record next week. We gotta discuss that. But yeah, man, a lot of stuff that we're gonna go down. Hopefully the U.S. wins against Netherlands by the time we upload this episode. I'm probably gonna upload it
Also,
right now.
that's South Korea.
Yeah, go South Korea, man. Shout out all my Japanese people. Make sure to read Blue Lock, Boruto Speak Fiction, and make sure you like and subscribe.
Whatever.
Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.